Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher, famously remarked that the quality of your ideas determines how happy you are in life. Inspired by the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, we are reminded of how our thoughts shape our reality and well-being, just as the people we choose to surround ourselves with can have a significant impact on our journey. Today, we will explore the 7 anti-Stoic habits that may be present in our daily lives and look at ways to reclaim our inner peace and Stoic direction. Before we get started, I would appreciate it if you could like the video so that I can continue to spread the Stoic philosophy. In order to ensure that you don't miss any videos, I urge you to subscribe and act immediately. Complaining about things outside of your control is habit number 1. Picture yourself at a picnic where everyone is enjoying themselves, the sun is shining, the food is delicious, and then all of a sudden clouds gather and it starts to rain. Some people would let this sudden turn of events ruin their day by complaining about the weather, bad luck, or their destroyed clothing, while the majority would pack up and head inside, finding joy in the change and relishing the fragrance of rain. This is an iconic illustration of how things outside of our control may affect us. Life is unpredictable, much like the weather, yet we can still act in response to the events that happen. In the real world, consider the workplace. We have all encountered colleagues who spend a great deal of time complaining about decisions made by higher-ups or changes in company policies, rather than adapting and finding ways to work within the new parameters. This constant complaining not only affects their productivity and peace of mind, but it also creates a negative environment for those around them. To combat this anti-Stoic behavior, Stoicism is rooted in understanding and internalizing the difference between things we can change and those we can't. The act of complaining, especially about things beyond our grasp, is a futile exercise that saps our energy and time and leads to a perpetual state of discontent. When faced with such circumstances, a more Stoic approach would be to ask, how can I adapt to this, or what can I learn from this situation? By doing this, we reclaim our power and maintain our inner peace, ensuring that we remain unaffected by external events, no matter how unpredictable they might be. Behavior 1 could heed the wisdom of Epictetus and ask whether this is something that is or is not in my control. The second habit is seeking external validation. If you've spent weeks working on a project, giving it your all, and it's finished, you might find yourself constantly checking social media for likes, comments, or any kind of acknowledgement. Or maybe you've purchased a new outfit, and instead of wearing it because it gives you confidence, you're seeking external validation. Increased social media platforms feed off our innate need for validation, which makes it simple to fall into the trap of measuring our value by followers, likes, or shares. However, this is a shaky foundation upon which to build one's self-esteem, as these numbers are erratic and frequently impacted by factors outside of our control. In other words, relying on external validation is like riding a seesaw. One day you're up due to praise and attention, and the next you're falling down due to a lack of it. The Stoic approach would be to find validation from within. Stoicism teaches us that self-worth should be anchored in our virtues, actions, and personal growth rather than the fickle opinions of others. As Epictetus wisely stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Relying on external validation creates a volatile emotional roller coaster that prevents us from having a consistent sense of self-worth and peace. This implies that how we assess and feel about our own decisions and actions to uphold this Stoic value, rather than the praise or criticism we receive from others, is the ultimate test of our worth. Reflect on why you require this validation the next time you find yourself seeking it from external sources. Are my decisions or actions something I'm proud of? The third habit is being a slave to your emotions. While feedback can be helpful for personal development, your sense of worth should come from within, rooted in your actions, intentions, and integrity, rather than the shifting opinions of the outside world. Imagine yourself at a family reunion where a relative comments, possibly accidentally, on a choice you just made, such as a new career, a romance, or even a change in lifestyle. The comment stings and sends you into a tornado of emotions. Before you know it, you can lash back with a caustic remark, causing tension for everyone in the room. Was that outburst really the ideal answer when anger, defensiveness, or grief rose within you? This is a classic case of emotions taking control. Being a slave to our emotions and letting them rule our decisions unchecked can lead to regrettable decisions and strained relationships. Emotions in their essence are neither good nor bad. They are natural human reactions that offer important insights into our state of mind and how we perceive our surroundings. Understanding our emotions without letting them control us is emphasized by the Stoic philosophy. As the brilliant Marcus Aurelius says, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Recognize this, and you'll find resilience. This Stoic lesson teaches us that while we may not have control over the initial reaction to a situation, we do have control over our subsequent reactions. So the next time you're faced with an emotional outburst, whether it's due to a friend's comment, a situation at work, or any other trigger, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is my immediate reaction to this situation the best course of action? Will it lead to harmony or further discord? By taking the time to reflect and pause, you can develop emotional resilience and make sure that your responses are consistent with your values rather than just transient emotions. You can act from a place of reason, logic, and wisdom rather than impetuous emotion by adopting this Stoic attitude, which enables you to navigate through life's many problems with a sense of equilibrium. The trap of excessive pleasure is that life offers a multitude of pleasures, from delectable foods to luxurious experiences. While enjoying them as part of the human experience, imagine walking into a grand feast where the table is loaded with an array of sumptuous dishes, decadent desserts, and an endless flow of drinks. It's tempting to indulge without restraint, but by the end of the evening, the initial euphoria might be replaced with feelings of discomfort or regret. The fleeting joy these pleasures bring can frequently conceal a lie, distracting us from seeking deeper, more substantial sources of pleasure. Being caught in the pattern of continuously seeking more can lead to a sense of emptiness. Seneca's insightful observation that slavery exists beneath marble and gold acts as a reminder to those who are overly fixated on materialistic things. Pleasures have the ironic power to bind us and limit our freedom. It seems like we get stuck on a never-ending treadmill, constantly searching for the next momentary happiness. Consider the allure of modern technology. There's no denying the excitement that comes with acquiring the newest smartphone, but how frequently is that excitement stoked by the release of a new model? Similar to this, think about the culture of binge-watching television. While it may be fun in the moment, does it really provide lasting satisfaction? To avoid this, it's a good idea to develop a moderation mindset before indulging in your next indulgence. Take a moment to reflect. Am I pursuing this pursuit to enrich my life, or am I just seeking a quick fix? This kind of self-examination aids in discerning what actually enhances our lives and what only provides a moment in our lives. By doing so, we position ourselves to feel a deeper, more lasting feeling of joy and fulfillment when we make sure our desires are in line with long-term well-being rather than fleeting highs. Habit number 5. Dwelling in the past. Picture yourself on your porch one lovely evening, but instead of taking in the sunset, all you can think about is miles distant, entangled in a web of past events. While everyone occasionally reflects on the past, it can be a mistake you committed, an opportunity you passed up, or a remembrance of someone you once knew. Reliving past events, especially those that are filled with regret or sorrow, can keep you from fully living in the present. It's like carrying a heavy backpack through life, slowing you down and obscuring the opportunities and beauty that are right in front of you. Each time you relive a past event, you give it power and allow it to take up valuable mental space that could be better utilized for the epic of the present. One of the well-known Stoic philosophers once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." This means that, often, our suffering results from our continued focus on and interpretation of past events. Take the example of two old friends who, after many years apart, reunite. One laments missed opportunities and broken relationships, while the other speaks of lessons learned. To break free from the bonds of the past, it's imperative to practice mindfulness when you find yourself drifting into bygone periods. Learn thankfulness for present moments and excitement for the future have both experienced the passage of time, but their perspectives differ greatly. By focusing on the present and treating each day as a new chapter, you can break free from the chains of the past and write a happier, more fulfilling story for yourself. Gently bring your attention back to the present and engage in activities that ground you in the now, such as meditation, journaling, or simply taking a walk and taking in your surroundings. Habit number 6, dwelling on the future. It's normal to think about and plan for the future, but doing so can rob you of the joy and experiences of the present. Constantly projecting into the future can be likened to standing at the base of a vast mountain and looking at the peak without appreciating the journey. Imagine yourself on a peaceful beach vacation, the waves gently lapping at the shore, a pleasant breeze blowing, but instead of being in the moment, you're lost in thought worrying about an upcoming work project, a financial decision, or any number of future uncertainties. It's simple to become mired in what-if situations and hypothetical questions. This unchanging state of future focus can cause uneasiness, restlessness, and even a sense of being unanchored. Writer Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, insight suggests that no amount of worry can change the future, but our reactions and preparations in the present moment can. For example, before a major exam, consider two students. One is constantly anxious, imagining all possible negative outcomes, while the other focuses on the present, studying and preparing to the best of their ability. Both are aware of the upcoming challenge, but their approach and mental state differ significantly. To avoid getting trapped in infinite future-centered loops, when you notice yourself drifting into the territory of future fears, it's critical to ground yourself in the present. Engage in mindfulness techniques like deep breathing or sensory deprivation. While it's wise to make plans for the future, concentrate on getting back to the present. Maintaining a balanced perspective, respecting the future but embracing the present, paves the way for a more harmonious and meaningful life. It is equally important to live in and cherish the present because it is the only moment that is genuinely within our grasp. The constant pursuit of joy in every little detail can become an overwhelming shadow, casting a pall over even the most joyous occasions. In today's age, with the rise of social media and the constant barrage of picture-perfect lives, habit number 7 is seeking joy in everything. The ideal work or the immaculate house. The pursuit of perfection may turn into an endless treadmill that never stops running and never arrives at its intended objective. Seneca famously said, "Wishing for perfection is a sure way to become unhappy." This Stoic insight emphasizes the understanding that aiming for perfection is an elusive goal that can lead to feelings of frustration, exhaustion, and perpetual inadequacy. When a famous artist is working on a masterpiece, they realize that beauty often lies in imperfections, and that the overall creation matters more than the smallest details. To avoid falling into this perfectionist trap, it's important to embrace the idea of good enough. If the artist were paralyzed by the pursuit of absolute perfection, they might never complete a single artwork. This doesn't imply accepting mediocrity. Rather, it means realizing that aiming for greatness and chasing flawless perfection are two quite different things. When you find yourself slipping into perfectionist tendencies, praise your accomplishments, no matter how tiny, and learn to embrace the flaws that come with being human. By taking a step back and considering the bigger picture, you can free yourself from the grip of perfectionism and lead a more balanced and contented life by considering the wisdom of the Stoic sages. After going through these 7 anti-Stoic habits today, it's clear that self-awareness and introspection are essential to leading a resilient and balanced life. I hope you gain knowledge to help you navigate and improve your own path because, as we've seen, Stoicism isn't about perfection, but rather about growth and perspective. Consider for a moment if you are a victim of any of these habits and how you can change your direction and get better. Whichever of these habits most resonated with you, please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. Have you come across any additional habits that have challenged your Stoic journey? Thank you for joining me, and until our next exploration, may you find strength and serenity in the Stoic way. Together, let's establish a space for active discussion and mutual growth.